Friends, a compelling and dense edited volume is under my review at the moment, and I'm reviewing it for international sociology. The book is DIY Urbanism in Africa, Politics and Practice by Stephen Marr and Patence Mesusa. It is being published by Z Books and by the Nordec Africa Institute, that's in Sweden. DIY is the necessity of the modern times given the demographic implosion and given the urban sprawl problem, where especially in Asia and Africa, population has unprecedentedly increased, and that's why DIY, like do it yourself urbanism, has become the necessity. This book offers a compelling exploration of the grassroots urban practices that have emerged across African cities in response to the economic crisis and social stratification. The book delves into the phenomenon of do-it-yourself urbanism, where city dwellers, faced with inadequate formal services and infrastructural deficit, resort to self-reliant and innovative methods to sustain their livelihoods and essential services. That access to essential services is now met through DIY, I mean do it yourself urbanism, be that sanitation, be that housing, be that roads and other infrastructural developments. People feel forced at times to do development for themselves through DIY. Therefore, this review is going to be very interesting as it is an exploration of the African urbanization. The God's own continent, Africa, needs much more infrastructural development, as compared to other continents, and the unprecedented rise in the population for last 3 decades has come up with, has or rather evolved with new challenges, especially the demographic challenge that has affected employment, that has affected resource access and infrastructural deficit. Therefore, the gap in the infrastructure is or cannot be lonely met by the governments of the African nations, but people need to work hand in hand. Is DIY sustainable? Yes, it is, provided it is done with design and it is done with scientific methodologies, with quality resource or quality raw materials. But that's not the story all the time. Deficits remain there, and that's why DIY is in question. Criticism is there. There's a dark side of DIY as well. As I'm exploring the book, I hope more nuances are coming up and more perspectives are coming to my mind that need to be explored. Can African nations, or rather the poorer nations, imitate Indian models of rural development and urban development is also a question, as we have in India Manrega, that is actually an employment guarantee act of the unskilled labor in the rural area, and we have urban development mission as well. So should Africa imitate or adopt Indian model of rural and urban development models to meet their infrastructural demands, or instead of China, should Africa give especially infrastructural contracts to India to leverage itself as far as the infrastructural development is concerned? Remains a choice, but in India, infrastructural development, especially roads, housing, sanitation, blah blah blah, have developed in whole lot of ways that Africa needs to explore. Thank you.